All right, gamers. I got P3. I was desperate to during that whole Outlaws demo. We'll come back. We're not going to do like a full-on beat-by-beat breakdown, but talk about the vibes. And then, yeah, like I said, we have 3 streams today because the next show is at 3 p.m. With Capcom, and we'll be back for that. But we don't got much else to do in the interstitial time, and I actually have to get on some stuff for our final segment of the day, which is the our full-on breakdown of everything, not E3. Well, Ringside, hopefully you'll be able to make it for that, because that'll be at like 6 p.m. So hopefully we'll be able to see you back for that, for reasons. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason you should be back. I don't know. That'd be cool. But, yeah. What was I saying?
You're gonna go P3?
P3. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and, you know. I'm gonna pause this just on the, or I'm gonna just rewind and, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna
go cut something else.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna go to Jacksepticeye. Honestly, you know what? No, I'm too scared to even. I'm clicking off of it and just taking away the browser for now. So just stare at a blank screen with
it's
fish.
Me.
Yeah,
just stare at me.
Okay, entertain the crowd.
So what's everyone's game of show for this Ubisoft Forward? Did you guys like Avatar, Prince of Persia, the Captain Laserhawk anime, Skull and Bones performance, the Crew Motorfest, any of the Assassin's Creed games, the Star Wars game? No, a Star Wars game be looking good. Just Dance 2024, we're excited about that too. We love a Just Dance in this household. I'm super excited for Assassin's Creed. I'm a very, very big fan of the older ones. The newer ones, like I think I didn't play Origins or Odyssey. I did get I beat Valhalla nearly 100%, probably maybe like 85%. And I really enjoyed that one, just the setting of that one. But seeing them pull it back and being like, all right, let's get back to the basics, back to why people fell in love with Assassin's Creed, I'm very excited for. And Star Wars, seeing that being, you know, not to be reductive or like anything like that, but it does look like a very fun, like Star Wars GTA-esque. You know, it's not we're saving the world, or I mean we're saving the universe, or we got this big grandiose, you know, like a, you know, altruistic, you know, plot line. It's just that we're just trying to make ends meet and trying to get free of whoever is chasing us, whatever crime syndicate, or you know, or whatever higher person's chasing us. And it's just, you know, just a normal person, which I think we talked about recently. Where like I'm tired of the big hero Jedi thing, and I like want to see more of the just a normal dude, normal guy, normal little guy.
I said you couldn't say this anymore, but I can. Boots on the ground, you know what I mean? No force.
You shouldn't have clicked off the thing because it went into a interview with Kay's voice actor.
Okay, I'm going back.
One of the phrases we always held on to was this notion of
I just was scared, you know? I didn't want Jacksepticeye to really invade my stream
for
again.
Kay and hopefully for players.
She's so fearless. You'll see her just go for it, and there's no stopping her, even when there's danger involved.
So, you know, we were all excited about the idea.
She'll never let you see
I
it.
saw a
Not
tweet
really.
saying that,
For
you know, this actress is
story, you know, you really have to ask yourself when is enough
queer,
enough? How far
played
is
multiple
Kay willing
gay
to go
roles
to
in different movies and shows.
Those are questions she's going to tackle.
I'm almost certain, especially when you're working with a scoundrel in a Star Wars universe,
crafting the story.
Gonna
And they
be
were
very much
an
the
invaluable partner in helping us create and craft this
my
thing.
my
They
vibe
were
and
really
already
embracing
just
us with open
read
arms in
is
terms of,
it's gonna
we
be
wanna
a
focus
full
on
on.
the underworld. We want to focus on an outlaw navigating through that
Can't remember his
space,
name suddenly.
but we're
Yeah,
sort of there
exactly.
to
Just like a
help
pan,
guide
like a
and
pan
point out,
character.
Like, hey, here's an opportunity
No
you might not have
species,
looked
no
at, or there's a
gender.
character
You,
might
you don't see
wanna
that in space
consider.
anymore,
So
baby.
Really, it was a partnership.
You love who you
through and through.
love.
I feel
smanch
like this
or you
is one of
smanch?
the biggest, if not the biggest franchise of our lifetime. The themes, like
Can
everything,
we
has just
smanch
been a
her
part of our
robot
world.
companion?
And for me,
Let's go.
and for the world of Star Wars, I
Can
know
you
that
teach
people
a
are gonna love
robot
this
love?
game, not just for how amazing the gameplay is, but like the story itself. To see a young girl become a woman and become an outlaw.
What?
This
Are
is
you
fun.
worried?
No.
Umberlee's
This interview, I just like.
energy,
I-
her
Yeah.
humor,
I already
her
want
wit,
this, you know, I
all
already
of
wanna
that
see all the
really
details.
has kind of helped inform the character. She has a way of jumping between that matinee action, high stakes tone.
I love
to
seeing
shifting to really intimate, really
mocap
personal
behind the scenes
performances
acting.
that
Oh,
make
yeah.
you connect to Kate.
Getting to bring my own
His
heart
little-
and then mix
when he had the little ball in his mouth, he's like,
and her toughness and her charm and wit. It's really fun. It makes her very endearing.
Where's the little
even
dog?
though she's a very tough person.
Where's a little dog dressed up in a
Will I
mocap
make it
suit
off
to
the
be
shower
Nyx?
alive?
That'd be so funny.
Maybe.
And yeah, it kind of feels like she was always meant to be Kay. She informs it in every way.
I
See
love
a young
bringing
girl
character
become
like
a
this
young
to
woman.
life, and it's an honor, honestly, to be a part of this world. It's definitely a dream come true, and I'm still doing it. So
Yeah, this is- I mean, this is the most marketing
right
speak
now. So
too,
it's all
so.
just exciting, and I feel now. I'm
Oh,
really
Nyx is a little puppet.
The team is amazing.
Oh, that's
and
so
I feel
good.
Very supported, and I'm happy that they found me because I feel like I was meant to play this role.
The little Nyx puppet. Shout out to that person.
Make sure to catch me alongside with some developers and cast members at Comic-Con International this July in San Diego.
Go Padres.
Oh.
For a while I was saying that I was gonna not have this on in the shop. My Padres Manny Machado
Hello
jersey
and
that I have
welcome
on
to
the
the Star Wars
back of my
Outlaws
chair.
official gameplay
But,
walkthrough breakdown.
Padres.
I'm Chastity Vicencio with Ubisoft News.
Okay, so it's
and
still
I'm
going.
joined by
Now this
narrative
is
director Naveed Kavari,
full-on
creative
developer
director Julian
walkthrough
Garrity,
of
and
that
game
gameplay.
director Matthias Carlson, who are going to give us
So
more
I'll just turn
information
this
about
down
what we
as
saw
we,
in the gameplay walkthrough.
talk about what we had on display here. Good thing the audio mix is so funky anyway in the first place. That turning it down means it won't be blasting in our ears.
A rare and exotic creature whose home
I'll go
planet
use.
still
Let's see.
remains
Yeah,
a
let's
mystery.
go to. I'm gonna go to
He's
the
got a very
Verge because
curious
I didn't take
personality,
notes. So
as you
they
can
did it
see
for me.
here. He can be a bit stubborn, but he has an incredibly strong
Okay,
bond with
so they
Kay
opened the
and
show
always
pretty
follows her
quickly
lead. She's grown up
with
Nyx for
Avatar.
most of her life.
First
She's not just a
extensive look at
fantasy.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora,
And here we have
and it looked
first introduction
pretty good.
to
Again, a
Dragon
stunning
Scoundrel
environment.
of this galaxy.
Little disappointed as first person, but again, like being first person in that world is compelling. You know, getting up close with the flora and fauna of Pandora. James Cameron came out and talked about it a little bit, and it looked really interesting. I like the story setup of, you know, being raised by humans and only really getting to reconnect with your actual like roots. What, like 12 years I think they said yet later, you know, and
Yeah,
it's
something
kind
like
of
that.
waking
Over a
up.
decade.
Yeah. You know, it's in its own way like really relatable to the experience of like various mixed race Americans, including myself, right? Like, you know, being raised in America, not connecting with the roots of your you know, another part of your actual like cultural background until later in life, you know. That's gonna, you know, that'll hit, I think, in a way that's surprisingly relatable for a lot of folks. And yeah, just actually looks really beautiful, and it has some interesting gameplay systems with traversal, because the Na'vi are, you know, giant old, big old, lanky arm, lanky leg, alien creatures, humanoid alien creatures that got some cool stuff going on. Yeah, I'm not fully sold. Like just like the Star Wars that we're watching in the background here. You know, I want to see again Same with Pandora, but that's coming out December, so we will start to see more and more of it. Yeah, do you have any hot takes on that?
I don't know, hot, but you know, like it looks good. It'll be for me good to look at, you know. But I have no eggs in the basket of Avatar. Like I have not watched any of the films. I haven't read any of the books. I'm just like it looks fine.
Which
I don't know anything about it.
in a way is kind of nice. You don't have any baggage, right? You don't have any
Yeah.
expectations, so you can go in fresh faced. And oh yeah, the other nice surprise, again, it's very Ubisoft, but 2-player co-op, very cool.
Yeah.
You know, game like that to again have seemingly some of those emergent gameplay moments like that. Like I always think back to clips of Far Cry. I think, you know, like just crazy things happening while you're in there together. On an alien planet, like I'm sure that's kicked up to 11. Yeah, just looks interesting.
Looks like a good time.
Looks like a good time. Looks pretty, and you know, I it's one of those things that people probably never asked for it, but they're giving it to us, and it's like, you know what? It looks a lot more interesting than, you know, we ever could have expected. Like if you told me, hey, an Avatar game is coming and it looks really cool, I would kind of nice try, buddy. But Ubisoft done it. They then went into a Prince of Persia breakdown with some gameplay, an animated trailer, kind of more of the story where you're going in as part of a team of elite guard, kind of for the kingdom, and something with trying to find someone who's like overthrowing the prince. And yeah, I that also we had someone in chat calling out vibes of Ori and the Blind Forest, the traversal looking just so good, giving me some Hollow Knight vibes as well. Not you know, I called out that it's probably a Metroidvania, but who knows? But it definitely has some Metroidvania vibes with lots of interesting traversal powers that'll probably keep you from going from certain places. But I think the big thing that they revealed was the time control gameplay mechanics, in that where, you know, you kind of leave a copy of yourself back here, you know, either get pushed away in by a trap, or, you know, in the middle of some big boss fight, you're on the other side of some unblockable attack or something, and you warp back to that you know, point you dropped and get the jump on people. Just continues to look really good. A brand new take for Prince of Persia after being gone for so long. And again, that's coming from Ubisoft Montpellier, who has an established reputation of some really cool 2D side-scrolling platforming things, you know. What's your...
It was nice to see a story trailer. I don't know if I needed more. I just wanted to, you know, I guess I didn't need that much information, because I was already sold on it for myself.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's like, we know what to expect, we know what to...
Yeah.
And
it was good to see, though, and it was nice to see the time mechanic coming back, because, you know, very much a staple in the Prince of Persia franchise. You know, even just outside of combat, there was some shots in the trailer of using it for like puzzle solving purposes, where I think the setup was like there was 3 different hallways, and he put a copy of himself in each one and ran through all 3 of them. I don't know for what reason, but I'm sure it's puzzle solving related, which is exciting, just to give, you know, an extra layer of complexity to some puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah, love the new take on it. You know, very much a new modern take on it, and while still keeping, you know, that look of Prince of Persia, and it being super nice and pretty to look at with the traversal and the combat, which looks to be much more fleshed out than in previous Prince of Persia games. Previous Prince of Persia games, it's like you have a dagger, you stab with it, and you can rewind time, which was, you know, I guess back before it was more focused on the platforming and the puzzle solving.
Yeah, that time
Um,
mechanic.
Yeah, but now it seems like it's a very much more fleshed out in this game, which is I'm excited about.
Yeah, look. I mean, look at this sequence, right? Where I'm playing it on the stream here,
Mm-hmm.
where you're going through this like shipwreck, frozen in time as you're like going through. That's gonna be a really cool. Just to clearly have some really fun ideas with level design and kind of that really expanding that time travel system in a 2D space, and really having some fun with that. Playing with the layering of the 2.5D aesthetic and yeah, I'm all on board, and I'm excited to see. Just look at that wave. The wave crashing over the scene is really cool. Excited to see more from that. That's coming in January. Then we had there was in between these, actually, in between Avatar, there was an X Defiant segment that was, again, you mentioned. A lot of people think it could be a Call of Duty killer. We were saying how Call of Duty is not nearly. It's still selling. That's the one thing. It's still selling. But I made a note of the reaction, the basically silent reaction that it got during Summer Games Fest. And it's hard to imagine anything being a Call of Duty killer, really. But X Defiant definitely has Call of Duty vibes and leaning on. Ubisoft properties, and yeah, I don't have much more to say about it. We played a beta. After they mentioned the NDA, I'm like scared to talk more about it, even though it's out of NDA. But
Yeah, I mean we did play it.
Yeah.
I can confirm it is a game. No, but it looks good. Like talking about like the Call of Duty is, it's just it's kind of like it's like taxes. Like it's always gonna be there. You're always gonna have to deal with it. And even like I can't say that there's much more you can do with that genre of games because they've tried and it's fine. Like they have Warzone, which is like their battle royale. They have DMZ, which is kind of like their Tarkov-esque, and they still feel like maybe not so much Warzone, but something like DMZ because like yeah, we'll venture into the genre, but where it's not our main focus. Our main focus is the multiplayer and which is fine. But it's the audience has definitely changed with the times, and just that reaction. 10 years ago, they said we got new Call of Duty news. The room would explode.
Yeah, this is
Just
kind of
uproar and laugh in claps and cheering. And now it was like nearly silent, but then you get like an indie game that popped up afterwards. And it was like, whoa, shit, like,
and even
man.
Fortnite, which is basically I feel like if there's anything has replaced Call of Duty, it is Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And that popped off as well. So the maybe Ubisoft smells a little blood in the water. It's hopping in there.
Yeah, especially with it being free to play as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Call of Duty still can't say that their multiplayer is free to play. Some of their battle royale and their Tarkov mode are free to play, but having the multiplayer, the strictly PvP multiplayer, be free to play could be the leg up that X Defiant gets over Call of Duty in terms of player base.
Especially because the only thing that's free to play for Call of Duty is you might have just said this. My brain's broken. Is the battle royale,
Warzone,
right? Yeah.
Warzone and DMZ are both free to play.
But then like the actual just like 4v4
straight,
or
yeah,
you know,
the straight multiplayer is still you have to pay this $60-$70 for, which is I feel like which much weirder to gatekeep because not many. I feel like that scene has kind of died down and people enjoy the Warzone, the battle royale more. That's just probably because it's free to play and it's more accessible. But yeah, like it's something like X Defiant if they bring something new to the table, which we did see some new things on the table there with being able to play as different
factions.
Yeah, factions from different game series that Ubisoft does, like Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon and Far Cry and Division. All of them, they all have their respective skills and powers and abilities, and it didn't seem too disruptive to the gameplay like something like Overwatch does. Like Overwatch,
Right,
I feel like it's way too intimidating for someone like me or anyone who isn't in the know of like a game like that where it's like, whoa, like this character does something change the
changer.
entire landscape of the video game when you use them. But in here, it's just kind of like more classic, like, oh, this is a medic type character. They can heal. This is, an assault type character you put at the front. Those types of abilities where it's just like they alter the gameplay, but not enough to disrupt the gameplay. Or something Call of Duty doesn't do. Call of Duty is just you have a gun in your hands and you have grenades in your pocket.
They tried to. I think there was one where like the multiplayer was like specific like operators or something. I feel like I
think
remember.
it might have been Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare series, like Infinite Warfare.
Maybe
Or
even
something like
Black
that?
Ops. One of the Black Ops. I feel like maybe
I
tried to
don't
do
know.
it.
There's like 800 of them.
Yeah. So
And that's what brought them back to for the last time I'm gonna say it.
Oh no.
Back to the boots on the ground gameplay is people stopped enjoying that. They're like, this is too much at this point. I don't like flying with jetpacks everywhere. Then the audience
But then
wanted the.
It's funny because now that's what their identity is with like the Warzone stuff is kind of the silliness of flying around, having like giant neon pink guns and you know what I mean? Like it's
Exactly.
it's weird.
It's the changing landscape and taste
I feel like
gamers.
Call of Duty doesn't have an identity anymore. And that's
No.
part of the issue, I feel like.
Well, yeah, because the Call of Duty's become okay. What do you guys want this year?
Yeah.
We'll make that. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. As long as you guys keep buying it, we'll make it.
The single player is not what it used to be, and the multiplayer is like, okay, what do you care about? Do you care about the team deathmatch? Do you care about the Warzone? Or do you like which one is it?
Mhm.
And it's spreading itself out in a weird way. We're talking a lot about Call of Duty during.
Anyways, Xtify, it was fine. It looked good. And free to play. I'll try it out when it comes out later this summer.
Yeah. They then went into a series of interesting, weird trailers. We had Division Resurgence, which is a mobile Division experience. Seems like it's bottling up the what would you say, the Dark Zone, right?
Yeah.
Gameplay experience for mobile. And I'll skip ahead. They also showed an Assassin's Creed mobile game later on, the codename Jade, where that takes place in China. What I will say about both of those, as much as it's not necessarily something I'm gonna hop into, they both do look like full experiences. Like they look like the full game that you want, but just mobilized. And so there's that for the people that do like their mobile games. The mobile game landscape has shifted a lot. I think games like Genshin Impact, Glory, and others have really established that the mobile gaming experience can be almost exactly like the home console experience, and you can get some really deep games on your phone nowadays. And
I had a coworker, actually one of my old bosses, his husband was one of those types of gamers. Like he played Call of Duty mobile.
Yeah.
So like he was like a pro Call of Duty mobile player, like played in like little like tournaments, for cash stuff. I remember because I had asked about it. Like I knew about it, but I had asked more about it because he had like reached into his jacket when we were like out to lunch or something.
Like, what are you doing?
No, I know he pulled out like a little. It looked like, for lack of a better term, like a little thumb condom. But it's to protect his thumbs while he's like gaming on his phone.
They go in.
Yeah, they go hard. Like it's a whole thing. Like, and I'm like, more power to you. Like, if you don't want to play on a console or a PC, you're good at it mobile. Like, I'm terrible at those games mobile.
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
the PUBG mobiles, I tried them out, and I'm just terrible. I'm like, I got boomer brain or something. But
it's just different. They those same people that are good at the mobile, I feel like if they try to go over to console, they'd be like, whoa, like
the controller. Where's my
buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, Glory said, I'm playing Honkai right now, and is familiar with the as you, for lack of a better term, said, thumb condom. So
yeah, it's like little like thimbles basically, but made of latex or whatever they are.
So yeah, this was all part of a batch of weird announcements, including the really strange what's it called? I don't even know what
Captain
Laserhawk with Adi Shankar, a TV and film producer who's
the most awkward
out there for the Castlevania stuff. Yeah, he just clearly was like wanting a pop off that he didn't, didn't get. He was wanting a stronger reaction. We were talking the whole time about how this is really awkward to try to get people hyped for a Netflix show in the middle of a writer's strike where people are just directly attacking Netflix. Just a weird all around thing. But the show itself doesn't look terrible. And what threw me off the most about it was that it's like a weird hodgepodge of
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I think it might be turning me off to it. It was marketed, or like he sold it as an anime in the Blood Dragon universe, which is fine. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, good little, little spin-off that they did that I feel like blew up way too much, but that's a different conversation. But then he sold it as that, and then when we saw the trailer, it looked like you're saying, like a hodgepodge of like every Ubisoft franchise. I'm like, are these supposed to be like Easter eggs that were like, oh, us gamers know what this is from, right?
No, it's part of the story because you could see it
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, is it marketed as a Blood Dragon thing, or is it marketed like as a Ubisoft, kind of, here's our universe of things that are, they're gonna be related to the story, but it's just like, why sell it as a Blood Dragon anime instead of like a Ubisoft anime?
Well, yeah, the remix part, like they definitely try to lean into, it being again this weird hybrid universe. Yeah, it's weird, but I'm kind of interested. I have a Netflix subscription. I'll watch
Disgusting.
I know.
Honestly, how could
it's
you?
my the Crimson. What is it from like Anyways, never mind. I don't know. My brain. It's the last day of not E3 coverage for us. My brain is mush. Yeah, Dev saying it's another but that's not us moment. It seems. I don't even know if it was that so much as they had this planned. Like I said, these shows are clearly more rehearsed than any other of these shows. I feel like they had this trailer ready to show at this event at this time, and no one could have prepared them for what was going to be.
Well, even though he acknowledged it, it's like bar an apocalypse, blah blah.
Yeah. Seemed like
you know why this is not a good place to show this right now.
Yeah. So like I think it is just like hey, I know this is awkward, but we have this trailer for this thing that we announced before. Let's roll it. Like I think what makes it worse is at Summer Game Fest we had the Witcher trailer, right? But they didn't like sit there and like, really deep dive. Oh, the production, we're so happy with it. Like even that one has like an even more awkward story to, tiptoe around. They just played it, and so like to have him come out and do this speech, have him dressed up silly. Maybe this was a punishment for him because he's like he's potentially mad at the writer's strike, and they're like, no, you're gonna dance on stage in a weird little cyberpunk outfit, okay? That's what you got to do. We're forcing you. So yeah, weird little sequence, and then there was the VR Assassin's Creed game that looks interesting for what it is. This is all out of order, really. That came a little later, but the VR Assassin's Creed game, we'll just talk about it here, is, you play as Connor, you play as Ezio, you play as Cassandra. Kind of hard to imagine how this all translates into VR, the jumping from the sky, all that experience. How's that work in VR? But by vomiting is
that's gonna be me, dude. I could never.
But it's a fun meta, full circle moment because it is essentially like a virtual reality experience is what most of the games are. So that's kind
Spoiler.
of fun. That's kind of a fun take and a fun, like I said, full circle. Not the key here, not actual gameplay, so none of this is really representative of what the game will actually look like.
I think it could work as like a super hot esque thing where you're just like dropped into these like scenarios and like, okay, figure it out. So maybe, but if they try to market it as like a small open worldish area where you're
Yeah.
just like, going around, walking around.
I feel like it isn't because of the fact that it's the 3 assassins. It seems like it's little chapters of their lives, you know, that we hadn't seen before. So I feel like it will be kind of an isolated experience type thing. Yeah, interesting. In between that, we had the first and 10th, but also 10th look at Skull and Bones via
Was it a look at?
a sea shanty performance. Very interesting because this game we've been waiting to see more, we've been hoping to see more, and they have these performers come out, who are great. The performers were awesome. This was a cool little song. I mean, listen to that bass, you know, come through. Was that the main guy that's got that deep voice?
I think so.
That's nutty. What a king.
No, pop off, King.
Maybe the beatboxer too.
Yeah, looks like he's doing some.
Yeah,
things there.
his throat was clenched.
What that throat do?
Oh no! But this was just like a performance, a full like 3-4 minute performance that just had a sizzle reel of cutscenes and like a tiny bit of like gameplay. And they had nothing else. They had nothing to say about it. They didn't have any, you know, people. No developer came out on stage and talked about Skull and Bones. They just had this performance. They hit a screen that said closed beta in August, and then they left. I really thought this was gonna be like a full break, like come out with a performance. There you go. How about that, guys? Wow, fantastic. Skull and Bones, we know you've been waiting a long time for it. Ha ha ha, chuckle chuckle. You know, and then like, well, here's a full-on breakdown of what the Skull and Bones experience is like, you know, and really
And then
show
at
us.
the end, be like, and you can play it this summer in the closed beta. You know, that'd be a good way to like, oh,
Exactly, like, it wouldn't be this great full experience, and instead it's a performance and a slate end screen, and that's all we get. I can't be excited for this because of that, you know. But I know that I think what they do show here is that there is more story stuff than we imagined. I think we see a lot of characters kind of interacting in pubs and stuff, and on the boats themselves. And I know that they kind of teased, you know, some more actual walking around stuff, you know, not just boat gameplay, because I think that's what the early version of it was, where it was just purely boat combat and nothing else. So I think they've been in the lab. They're cooking. They're tweaking. And
let them cook.
Well, I do want to say let them cook. They've been in there for a minute. I'm getting hungry. I've been waiting.
They're gonna cut out the steamed hams, bro.
Iconically, as a child, one time I went to IHOP with my family, and I've always been like a quiet, you know, shy little child. And then that day though, I came in and I said, "Hey," and this is somewhere I went with my grandma a lot. They knew us, and I literally was like, "Hey, I'm really hungry. Can I get my food really fast?" Like I literally was like telling the staff, like, "Can I have my food?" And they're like, "Okay." And they came out, no joke, like 5 minutes later with my whole plate of food. And I was done before anyone else got their food. Like, it was just, so Skull and Bones, I'm hungry. Give me.
Bro, editor-in-chief of Video Games Good being rude to wait staff. Tweet about it.
I was like 7, okay? Not even, like 5. And, but yeah, it's just so weird where we didn't see much more than that, didn't hear much more than that. But hey, maybe their video games are good, but Nate is not. Oh no, what have I done?
Just canceled yourself by telling that
no.
story.
My bad, guys.
You're like, and I didn't leave a tip.
They went from that to some brief cutaways to some of their different games, updates coming. They Brawlhalla, Master Chef is coming to Brawlhalla. Cool.
Did we need it? I don't know.
Rocksmith, try it free today, which is kind of cool, but you need a guitar. Video games
Video games need to hurry up.
Look, it's been so delayed.
Skull and Bones. We've seen Skull and Bones. I think we saw Skull and Bones at like E3 2018.
It's been in there. It's been in the kitchen for a minute. at the end of the day, if it's good, I don't care. You know, I'm excited. I'll play the hell out of it. But I love a pirate, as you've seen us talk about different pirate games all throughout this week. I just want to see. I want to see the baby.
Nate out here be like, you know what? F Ubisoft. I'm gonna go play
No!
Sea of Thieves Monkey Island.
Okay, well, yeah, probably. But yeah, it's I'm ready. I'm ready to see it come out the oven. Hey, video games, I'm hungry. Can I have my games? And Rayman DLC for Mario and Rabbids, along with they teased some like other DLC missions. Cool, all around, just okay, cool.
What's funny is that I own both of those games.
The Rabbids ones.
I think I played maybe like an hour the first one and just haven't touched them since. I haven't touched my Switch in a while.
People
so
love
it's like Zelda.
Mario plus Rabbids. I'm not gonna say why I'm laughing, but I'm laughing for a reason. Mario plus Rabbids is beloved, and I have the first one, and I've been desperate to find the time to hop into it, but you just don't have it. But I'm curious to play more of that. Then we got a long look at with a passionate kind of just goofy little guy talking about it. Yeah, okay, yeah. Talk about a game being in the kitchen for a little too long. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Doing nothing.
They still insist that game exists, but we've talked about a game we haven't seen in. Okay, I'm gonna look. Beyond
It's gonna Duke Nukem Forever vibes.
Evil 2 reveal. It's a prequel. I forgot about that. It was announced at. Wow, this is not. It was teased. The Beyond Good and Evil was first teased at UB Days 2008.
Jesus Christ!
And then it was announced as a prequel in 2017. And we've just been waiting for forever.
Talk about in the kitchen, dude. They're done cooking. Don't let them cook anymore.
2022, Beyond Good and Evil 2 broke the record held by Duke Nukem Forever for the longest development for a video game. At more than,
The game's burnt. Please.
at more than 15 years. Well, what they teased early on was something that was going to be a like expansive, like No Man's Sky level of game where you can go all the way down into the city streets, and it was going to be just as dense and amazing as any Ubisoft open world game, and go all the way out into the galaxy. You know, they teased some like weird, like a really experimental thing, and it's clearly going through some changes. It has to be.
Shazama, you joke, but that's what happened with Duke Nukem Forever.
Truly, I can't imagine Ubisoft lets that happen. You know, whenever we see it again, if we see it again, it'll have changed. That game is going to be a very different game from what was teased and revealed.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, even Skull and Bones. I feel like with the trailer we saw the first time we saw, we're like vastly different from what we're seeing now.
yeah, Ubisoft's known for it a little bit, but they do surprise with stuff all the time. It's just, I think that one was really ambitious, and they also know they can't. With it being this long, they can't just put something out there, right? It's gotta hit for them, you know, and so it's gonna be interesting to see what it ultimately ends up.
What are our graphics updates?
They're like overhauling, yeah. They're like, oh, there's new like RTX tech, and by the time they're done with that, like there's gonna be something else, and they're like, oh fuck.
Bro, did you see Graphics 4.0 came out? We gotta update to that now.
No. But anyways, after all that, we had this long look at the Crew Motorfest. I honestly don't have much to say about it. Looks like the Forza Horizon of the Crew universe, where you're in Hawaii. You got all these different kinds of races. You got, rally cars. You got F1 cars, the trailer show. You got just regular street cars. Looks cool.
No, their big thing was electric supercars now.
Electric supercars. This developer was really passionate about it. we're just not a racing game kind of. I don't think I know a single person in our community that's like hype on racing games.
I enjoy them from time to time, but
Yeah,
not
like, I
like
like
a mainstay.
I like to just like hop in one for a couple hours, you know what I mean, and that's it. But looks cool. It's in Hawaii. Seems like it's gonna have a open world ish kind of design, like the Crew has had, but a much smaller scale. Yeah, looks cool. And then that's when the Assassin's Creed block came in with Mirage. We talked about Mirage a lot already. Back to basics, full on stealth, focus, and kind of back to that Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 vibe. That's slowly, you know, starting with 3 is where they began drifting and into the open world focus. And
nice drifting with the
cars just a second ago.
No, with the boats drifting off into the ocean.
That's because that's where, and funny enough, that's like where the boat stuff came in. That's where Skull and Bones basically got born. Soon after that, they had Black Flag, you know, and they really enhanced it. Yeah, this showed well. It's the kind of game that looks really fun, and I'm really excited to play it. But I don't necessarily have a lot to say about it. You know what I mean? It's what we want. It's a return to something we've been, you know, missing since 2008. So it's not like, you know, there's a lot to break down. The one cool thing they showed was like Basim's like ultimate, basically, in this, where because like it's actually, you can see like it's meters that's building in the bottom left here in this gameplay. His ultimate being this you know, multi-assassination thing where you can kind of set it up by marking your targets, and then he'll go and wipe them all out. Honestly, Ubisoft's done that for. Remember, I think it was an old Splinter Cell or one of those that had a similar thing for, you know, where you could line up all the targets and like shoot them all at once. You know, so it's no part of this is that truly like that innovative, but it's modernizing and going back to something that we all loved from you know, a while back.
Speaking of, when are we gonna into Splinter Cell? I'd kill for Splinter Cell.
People were hoping to see something here, and clearly didn't happen.
You know, actually, I'm gonna say it might be behind the scenes. If we're going back to stealth, I'm here for it.
Yeah. They've been teasing. You know, Splinter Cell's been brought into so many other games. They know people are looking for it, so I think it'll come eventually. But when? Who knows? Yeah, I don't have much more to say about Mirage other than I'm interested in it. Can't wait to not have to spend 200 hours in an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a day one for this household. Deepin Shizame does love an old school Assassin's Creed. We love an old school Assassin's Creed here at on cam right now. So yeah, we're gonna be in there, you know, stabbing the dudes, poisoning the dudes.
Iconically, one of the first moments of our friendship was, you know, the first time I like, you know, we were friends. We would like walk home together because we lived near each other. But like, I was always like, I don't know, I was like always like a little anxious kid that was like, I can't bring friends into my house. I don't know how that works. And then finally,
and me, an
like,
extrovert.
Yeah, you're like, please let me. Literally sitting at my gate, being like, let me in.
Let me in.
And then finally one day I was like, you know what? You need to come in and see this. And I brought you in to show you on my giant HD projector my dad had Assassin's Creed 1. Because I don't think you had a PS3 at the time or anything. So I was like, you gotta go. Oh my God, you gotta see this game, dude.
Look at the graphics.
Yeah, and we were just like staring in awe at this game. And from that point forward, I think you basically
that
moved in.
blue-gray filter.
And they're bringing that back in Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yeah.
And
it's almost 20 years ago.
I know, that's nuts.
That's nutty, dude.
I don't want to think about it. I'm turning 30.
Moving on.
I'm turning 30. I don't want to think about it.
If you don't wake up to Belt Burnham's turning 30.
Oh yeah, I have to. It's all I want to do. Yves came out, gave another. He always does this. He always comes out and gives this really emotional speech about we are a family and you are part of the family and we love you and we love video games. Woo! I love it every time. He does it every time they have one of these shows. He does it. And And you know, Ubisoft's been through ups and downs, but I have consistently appreciated their quality of games. Hopefully they're cleaning up some of the stuff that's been called out on them about crunch and some weirdness with the women back a couple years ago. The Assassin's Creed, I think it was, what was it? Assassin's Creed. It was some developer, the head of one of the last Assassin's Origins was like really weird and all kinds of stuff. You know, I think they did take some time to clean house and they've rebranded again, but you just never know. Can't trust any corporation really. But really appreciate what they've always done. But of course, just like I'm wrapping up here, but I'm not quite done. Ubisoft is wrapping up, but not quite done, because the last thing they showed was probably the most exciting thing for everyone out here, except for Dev, who's probably hype about Mirage more than anything. The Star Wars Outlaws, which is their open world scoundrel Star Wars game. I had high hopes, and they kind of met them all with this presentation, showcasing again like a story mission where you're pulling off a little thievery, trying to get out of there, trying to keep away from the criminals, and then ending with a full-on chase away from the authorities after you refuse to bribe an Imperial guard at the end. And yeah, it just, from end to end, truly looks stunning. The only questions I have here are the scale. They tease the idea of like going anywhere you want, going to any planets and systems that you like, hyperdrive usage out the wazoo. How does that all work? I think, it's easy to be skeptical, but I think the procedural generation systems that are out there these days, stuff that started with No Man's Sky and is now being implemented across these bigger budget, bigger deal, games where they can layer on all these cinematic moments and kind of deeper narratives. Obviously, we were in love with what we saw from Starfield, and that's basically selling a similar thing. So it's hard to say that it's impossible when Starfield sold it, and it actually looked plausible because of what they showed. It's hard to say that Star Wars Outlaws can't pull it off with literally what they named like 10 different Ubisoft teams working on this game, right? Alongside Lucasfilm games. So there are a ton of people working on this game, hundreds upon hundreds of people, not thousands really, working on this one game. So, they're hoping to pull it off. I'm watching this footage again. Is this game in this like widescreen format?
Oh yeah, it might be pretty cinematic.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. We just started this sequence, Fern. Yeah, we're doing our recap. This is the last thing they showed. But just just realizing the HUD is kind of within the bounds, and yeah, I kind of like that.
Let's try this out.
Nick's gameplay is something I didn't expect, and I love here as you send out your little
Kick my camera.
your little axolotl pal that you can send out to pick up like ammo and weapons from the battlefield. You can send them out to distract guards and stuff. That looks really cool. Again, the scale here as you get out and you start to get into the open world. We said GTA, but I do like what I went back to, the more the Red Dead kind of vibe, right? Of like, outlaws on your speeders, having conversations with the, running up to somebody with your speeder. I ain't seen you around here in quite some time. Choo-choo! Like,
and you smudge.
Oh, you smudge. I'll get this out of the way for you, Fern, as you came back. No obvious direct gay.
No gay confirmation yet.
There's as Evan said, there's a tense interaction between Kay and a femme Imperial guard, but Is it sexual tension? Is it just regular tension? Oh, I didn't notice that. Did you see that? As you drive away from the Pike Syndicate after stealing from them, it says here on the left side of the screen, Pike Syndication reputation down.
So you can be a little bad boy too. You can be like,
Mix
hey,
different factions, where you're. So yeah, I just really love how alive this feels. People just going about their day, zooming around. Look, I like this one part where this really fast speeder blows past her as she's walking up to the bar. Yeah, like it just flies past. Yeah, they did and showed and said all the things they needed to here as well, just like Starfield did. But we were saying, need to see that next presentation, right? Need to see if this consistently looks like this in the lead up to its release in 2024.
yeah, we need to see whatever's like 3 to 4 months out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the final gameplay trailer,
Yeah.
right before it release.
Be careful.
But Ubisoft hasn't pulled that same kind of bait and switch with their releases, like they kind of got known for, right? A while back at their E3 presentation, showing something that just seemed impossible, and then releasing something that didn't quite reach those marks. But even then, right? Even sometimes when it didn't quite reach those marks, those games were really cool.
I would say they advertise or they try to promise grandiose, and even if they aim high, they still reach the stars. The systems are always there. It's just not as dense and not as big as we were promised. Which
I'm okay with that in this case too.
Exactly. It's like most people, like even with Watch Dogs 1, I was like, I think the first instance where we saw Watch Dogs 1, we're like, holy crap, like this looks insane. And it ended up being a little more empty than they promised, but it was still a good experience. And just like with this, like if the gameplay mechanics and everything we see so far, it looks amazing, looks incredible. They tone down the graphics, I'm getting at that age where I'm like, it looks beautiful, but as long as it plays well, the story is there, I'm like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I'm shooting for the stars and hoping that it's Star Wars Red Dead, but if it is a little less involved than some of the complexities of that game, still years down the line, from Red Dead 2, like that game still has such a liveliness. Like if it is just it is like a slightly more polished Ubisoft open world, I'll take it. I really love this. Go.
I would even be thrilled if it were, excuse me, like a little, for lack of a better word, biomes, like open world, like little biomes, like this planet. Yeah. Maybe you don't get to explore the entire planet. You do explore this like big area, and then you go to the next big area. Kind of
like taking, like, maybe not the full city, not full, I can't think, the GTA 5 city. No kidding. And
Los Santos,
like not the full Los Santos, but like a district, and then each planet has one of those that you go to. You know, like I'm down for that.
Well, even like Valhalla did it. One of those Assassin's Creed games. Like you had for 3 different continents that you go to. They weren't huge, but they were like condensed, and you're like, oh, this is a nice little chunk of gameplay. Outside of the main giant map. So even if they pull that off, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah. And the space stuff looks so. This is where I was like, whoa, the scale. Like, we keep talking about stuff being like, it can't be that big, it can't be that, but like we have a Nintendo Switch game that has 3 layers of world map that are just as big as the last, and so like if Nintendo's pulled that off, like we can expect a certain amount of things out of these other games. I mean, just look how it's so beautiful being out here in space.
And even if these are like the in-between moments, you know what I'm saying? Like you're just going to a different planet, and as you're traveling,
every once in a while,
caught in an encounter or something.
Bandits or whatever. Oh, I just noticed that. Did you see that? When you did hit the hyperdrive, it brings up a list, and you can scroll through to like pick where you want to go. You have to wait to get the right, you know, you have to clear the path. Just like we did for Fern yesterday with Tiny Bookshop, or the other day, got to clear the path to jump out of there and get to other systems. Yeah, again, they really sold a truly compelling experience here. Really hitting all the Star Wars vibes you could ask for. I'm glad not all the Star Wars stuff is just leaning into the open world. So I'm glad this is the one open world, and like Jedi Survivor is the kind of linear, slightly open spaces, but more linear, you know, action adventure. Just excited. And like you said, and we've said this whole time, it's just fun to be
Anywhere we want.
just a person in the Star Wars universe. We need more of that. Andor is one of our favorite Star Wars properties of the last few years. Because it is just a guy trying to do his best in a very shitty situation in a world with Imperials and bandits, and really excited to see what this looks like in the future. I mean, Fern, obviously we talked over a lot of it, and you didn't really get to see the nitty gritty, but I mean, I'm sure you can see this looks incredible, and I'm excited to see just how big this is. And I'm happy to wait it out. 2024 is what we got. The earliest I'm saying this is a winter 2024. This is the end of 2024 game.
I was gonna say Q3, Q4.
Yeah,
is definitely gonna be.
There's no way
Outlaw
it's
time.
anytime sooner than that. Honestly, and truly, it's probably a 2025. My ultimate landing is March 2025. Right? Like it's gonna be one of those like delayed out of its original year, but sooner than you think in the next year kind of things, where you know, it starts the year out right in 2025. But who knows?
No.
They could surprise us. They could totally come out and be like, it's coming March.
Q1.
Yeah, it could be March 2024. Who knows? But
What you saw is from the gold version of the game. We are
they have
done
like
with it.
1,000 people working on the game, so wouldn't be surprised. He's still wearing that outfit in this. I didn't notice that last time.
He still has the glasses on too.
Yeah, great show. Honestly, it had some weird moments, but like they just put on a good show. They have really good presentation style. Yeah, Ubisoft be bringing it. They got some exciting games in the pipeline between Avatar, between 2D Prince of Persia, between Star Wars. I'm excited, and a new Assassin's Creed that's not overwhelming open world. It's really interesting. Star Wars. So yeah, gamers. I think that's it for now. But stay
Come
tuned.
back at 3.
Yeah, we will be right back at like 2:45, 2:50 to watch the Capcom showcase. That'll be interesting because I see a lot of expectations out there. People are really hoping to see Resident Evil 4 Remake Separate Ways is what they're hoping to see announced.
Simon Ada, come
Yeah.
to me.
They're hoping to see some. I've heard way too. This is not happening, but way too big of expectations to see a new Monster Hunter. Not gonna. I can't imagine it happens. But also every single. I'll say this: 2023. This not E3. We're gonna have our big wrap up later today. But here's my little teaser. Genuinely killing it like all around. Like every single presentation is a little bit better. Like better than previous years. Might be like a lot of people bringing their best showcases that we've seen in a long time, and I'm excited to look back at it all with you because yeah, at 6 p.m. Tonight we will do a little mini podcast where we talk about our vibes and award our best of not E3 awards out to some games. I didn't expect many to kind of tilt the scales here at the end, but Star Wars looks pretty good, man. You know,
The Crew Motorfest might just take it from me.
But yeah, gamers, we're not gonna. I don't think we'll raid or anything. We'll save that for the end of the day. We'll just head out because we'll be right back. I expect you to keep the window open, honestly, and just wait for
Oh,
us. Just sit
yeah.
here until 3 p.m.
Just stare at chat
Yeah,
until
while we go and like have fun and like, you know, drink with our investors.
we have investors.
Yeah.
Oh,
I expect you to just wait here. All right, 3 p.m. is when we'll be back, and then after that we'll have our big wrap up at 6 p.m. of the entire week. I'm so tired. I have some stuff to try to get done before tonight, so I'm glad we have these breaks, honestly. But yeah. Thanks, chat. Thanks for hanging out. Ubisoft, good stuff. Last words, last goodbyes.
video games are good. Pretty good.
Hell yeah. Let me message. Yeah. Well, yeah. Either we'll do it later, and I will send the clip to Evan. Evan did redeem a Phil Tree time, but I don't think Evan's here anymore. So we'll save that for later. I'll see if Evan. Yeah, exactly. I'll see if Evan wants to be here for that, and we'll be back. And if not, we'll do it during the 3 p.m. show, and then give Phyllis a treat or two, because probably someone else will redeem a second. But yeah, I'll reach out. Alrighty. See you in a couple hours, gamers. Bye-bye, gamers. Say goodbye, fish. There it is. All right. See ya.